Flutter becomes a princess. Flutter the butterfly girl caught a nasty cold in the chilly early year rain. Dr. Owl examined her.
It wasn't smart to go for such a long walk in such gloomy weather. Now you must stay in bed for a long time,
grumbled the owl. Dolly and the others often came to take care of her. Flutter asked everyone to read to her from her new book. A few days later, everyone already knew the story by heart, which was about a grand ball held in a fancy castle by the princes and princesses of the kingdom. How wonderful it would be if we could go to that ball too, said Flutter to Balthazar.
Oh, come on, it's just a story,
laughed the bee. Flutter gave him a sharp look and turned disappointedly towards the wall. Balthazar walked home with a heavy heart. On the way, he met Dr. Owl.
What happened?
He asked.
I hurt Flutter's feelings, answered Balthazar. I told her that the princess book is just a story.
It's all right.
Dr. Owl hugged Balthazar.
That book means a lot to Flutter. She enjoys dreaming about being a princess. Have you never dreamt of anything?
Well, I'd love to have a rocket. I'd fly it into space. And a time machine would be nice too.
See, everyone has dreams. Carnival is coming. Organise a ball that Flutter dreams of. Stanley's house is big. You can set it up like a castle. Then dress up as princes and princesses.
That's a fantastic idea. I'll talk to Dolly right away,
exclaimed Balthazar. Everyone liked the idea.
All right, let's get to work. The boys will make the decorations and we'll sew the princess and prince dresses.
Dolly assigned the tasks. The boys made good progress. Stanley's house started to look more and more like a castle every day. They pasted white paper on the green walls and turned the room into a ballroom. The girls one by one finished all the ball gowns. They made one for Flutter too, put it in a box and gave it to Bubble. Bubble, take this to Flutter. Tell her that tomorrow evening at sunset we're waiting for her at Stanley's house, smiled Rosita. Bubble ran off and handed the package to the butterfly girl. Flutter found a beautiful dress inside and a ball invitation. She happily twirled in front of the mirror in her new dress, eagerly waiting the next day. The ball was a great success. Berry danced with Dolly, Eddie with Leapy, Bubble with Zephyr. Stanley danced with Rosita, Balthazar spun Flutter around, and Alphonse led the dancing. Everyone felt like they were in a fairy tale come true. Farewell. One spring day, Alfonso stumbled upon an unfamiliar sapling by the stream's edge. The cricket protected it with a circle of stones, ensuring no one would step on it. The plant soon produced a bud, from which a special flower bloomed.
Well, aren't you beautiful?
Alfonso greeted the flower. "I've never seen a flower with each petal a different colour. I'll take good care of you." Alfonso watered the flower every day. He joyfully watched it grow. However, on one late summer morning, the cricket rushed to the flower in panic. All of the petals had fallen off. Alfonso knelt down and tears streamed down his face in sorrow. Finally, he gathered the petals and took them in the house. He moped all afternoon until Dolly knocked on his window.
"Hi, Alfonso," greeted the ladybird. "Why are you so sad?" "Oh, the flower. Has your flower withered?"
"Yes," sniffled Alfonso. "I watered it. I kept its soil healthy and even sang to it sometimes."
"This is the fate of the flowers," Dolly said and patted Alfonso on the back. "You know what? I'll make a big batch of pancakes and we'll come over for a snack so you won't be alone, all right?"
"Okay," mumbled Alfonso. "But make sure there's hazelnut spread too."
"All right, hazelnut spread it is."
Alfonso tidied up and set the animal-themed tablecloth. In the afternoon, the cheerful group arrived. Among the pancakes were chocolate, jam-filled, hazelnut spread, cinnamon and maple syrup flavours. Alfonso, of course, chose hazelnut spread, but he still had a sad expression.
"Alfonso,"
Flutter suddenly spoke up.
"I think you need to say goodbye to your flower. Saying goodbye might help you not to feel so sad."
"How can I say goodbye to it?" asked the cricket.
"Maybe if you put the petals in a stream's water and let the waves carry them away, that could be a beautiful farewell." "That's a good idea, Flutter."
Bubble nodded and they all agreed. Alfonso silently gathered the petals in his hands and scattered them on the water, their gaze fixed on the drifting flower petals until they floated into the distance.
"Let's go back. It's getting dark,"
said Dolly, but just then Dr. Owl descended among them. "I bought you a flower seed," Dr. Owl said to the cricket. "Dolly told me about your flower. I'm sorry it withered, but you can plant this seed and a new sapling will sprout from it."
"A new sapling,"
Alfonso repeated emotionally.
"You said goodbye to one and now you can nurture the other."
Dolly smiled. "That's the way of things. The old makes way for the new," Dr. Owl mused and then flew away. Alfonso's little friends also bid farewell to him and headed home. Peace filled the cricket's soul, and the loss was slowly replaced by new hope. September. Reggie Squirrel. Autumn had arrived, and it was Reggie Squirrel's 7th birthday. Reggie woke up early and set off excitedly to visit the stag beetle. He knocked loudly on Stanley's door, but no one answered. Berry and Balthazar's houses were empty too.
"No one's at home. Who can I celebrate my birthday with?"
he sobbed to himself.
"Hi there! Happy birthday!"
shouted Harry Hedgehog. "Your friends told me to take you for a ride while they prepare your present."
"So that's why no one's at home,"
Reggie said, smiling again. He sat in the hedgehog cart and they set off. In the meantime, the centipede busily raked the leaves up and the woodworms wriggled about in them.
That's enough of that. I need to clear the leaves from the path,
the centipede said.
You could pick the litter up because we should look after nature. Okay, we'll help,
the woodworms whistled. Then they saw Harry Hedgehog and Reggie Squirrel, and they waved at the birthday boy when the hedgehog cart passed them. It was the afternoon by the time they got back to Reggie Squirrel's home.
Happy birthday!
All the forest friends shouted with glee. Reggie Squirrel saw that the pals had bandaged the oak tree.
You've made my tree better,
Reggie said with a tear in his eye.
Hooray for Reggie Squirrel!
Shouted a band of squeaky little voices, and the fireflies appeared high up above.
We've made you 7 lanterns for your 7th birthday. They're beautiful,
said Reggie, clapping his paws together. At that point, Berry and Dolly handed the hazelnut cake they had made to Reggie. And while they were eating, Zephyr made an announcement.
A 7th birthday is an important thing because 7 is a special number. There are 7 colours in the rainbow. A dragon has 7 heads. And there are 7 days in a week. There are 7 dwarfs in the story about Snow White. And there are 7 notes on a musical scale. You still haven't seen your main present,
said the little flower beetle as he hopped around.
Have you found the hot air balloon?
Reggie asked with a surprised smile.
We found it and fixed it,
said a proud Berry.
Come on, we'll take you for a flight.
Hooray! Reggie Squirrel cried, and he hopped happily into the balloon's basket. They flew high above the tiny houses and had a super view of the forest from the sky. Then the stars appeared, and Reggie stared in delight at the twinkling night sky.
It's been a busy day, hasn't it?
asked Dolly.
Yes, it's been a busy and brilliant birthday,
Reggie Squirrel agreed with a grin.
Good night,
the little friends shouted, and the squirrel climbed sleepily back into his house, cuddled up in his little bed, and soon fell fast asleep. Starship. It was Christmas Day and Berry, Dolly, Balthazar, Flutter, Stanley and Bubble were walking home after playing snowballs. Let's all go to my house and we can decorate the little Christmas tree in my garden. What a lovely idea, the others all cheered. In the meantime, Flutter had an idea and she whispered it into Dolly's ear. That's not fair. Don't keep secrets.
Yes, tell us too. It's mean to keep secrets.
Oh, it's not that sort of secret. In fact, it's not a secret at all. Then tell us what it is. We can't tell you because it's going to be a surprise. I've got to go now because of the surprise, but I'll be back soon. Dolly put a plate of fresh fruit bread on the table, and the little friends all tucked into a feast.
It's really delicious,
said Berry with a smile. Dolly then produced coloured paper, scissors, glue and ribbons and put them on the table. Everyone got quickly to work. They cut star, moon, heart and flower shapes out of the paper and threaded them onto a long ribbon. Flutter returned just as it was getting dark.
Now tell us what the secret is,
Balthazar said. No, I still can't tell you, the butterfly girl said secretively. I'm going to go home in that case. All right, we'll decorate the little Christmas tree outside and then I'll tell you everything, OK? OK, the boys all agreed. They took the ribbon outside and carefully wound it around the little Christmas tree.
It looks lovely,
Bubble whispered sweetly. They all gathered around the tree and began to sing.
Little Christmas, lovely Christmas, little Christmas, lovely Christmas.
Look, what's that light high up in the sky?
Maybe it's a comet,
said Bubble. But they didn't have to guess any longer because the light began to descend and they could see it was a star house. And there, waving to them from the window, was their old friend, the Star Girl. So that was the secret, Stanley cheered. But how did you manage to invite her here? I flew up to the moon and asked it to look for the Star Girl, Flutter told him. Just then the Star Girl opened up a bag and twinkling stars flew out. First the stars danced around the Christmas tree. Then they flew high up into the night sky before coming back down to the ground and clustering together to make a starship with a long staircase at the front. The friends carefully climbed up into the starship. The Star Girl began to strum on her harp, and the starship flew up and around the whole forest. They all had a super view of all the houses down on the ground, and they even saw Harry Hedgehog's house, with him inside sleeping his way through the chilly winter.
It's so beautiful,
Balthazar said dreamily. They eventually landed back outside Dolly's house. The Star Girl bowed politely and waved to show that she had to be off on her way. Dolly suddenly had a super idea. She flew up to the top of the Christmas tree, took the pretty ribbon off and placed it on top of the star house. The harp music made the star house slowly lift off the ground.
That really was a super surprise, Flutter,
Bubble said. We'll never forget this Christmas night, Stanley announced to all. The Big Wheel. The Ant Queen had been ill for a long time. She had caught such a terrible chill that she was in bed with a fever for weeks. When she eventually got better, the ants decided that they would surprise their queen and celebrate her recovery. They thought and thought until one of them shouted, "Let's build a big wheel! There, on the hill! It can turn around nice and slowly, and we'll be able to see the whole of the forest from the top." Oh, what a super idea! But we don't have much time. No, we haven't got a lot of time. It will be Sunday in 6 days, and then the Ant Queen will parade through the forest on the conker cart. We need to be ready by then. The ant army got to work. They started to saw and hammer as they followed the plan. They worked hard and the big wheel grew larger by the day. But the last day soon arrived, and then the last night. "We won't be ready," one of them said, sounding sad. "Let's call for help," said another ant,
and they sent the news out into the forest that anyone who could should come and lend a hand. Berry, Dolly, the spider, Stanley, Balthazar, Leapy and Eddie all came along. But no matter how hard they worked, they were still running out of time. Thank you for coming along, but we're still not going to be ready by tomorrow morning. We need much more help. The moon could see what was happening and felt sorry for the ants. He gave a little whistle and the sleepy stars gathered all around the moon. The forest friends stared in awe at the starry spectacle and set back to work with renewed energy. And with the stars' help, they were finished in no time at all. The ants also built a motor for the big wheel, and that made the massive wooden wheel move round and round. When it was finished, everybody tried it out. Thank you, Moon. Thank you, stars, the ants shouted. But by then, they had gone off to twinkle far, far away. The next morning, the Ant Queen sat in Harry Hedgehog's conker cart and rode away on a parade around the forest. They arrived at the hill and could not believe their eyes. "We built it for you!" the ants all shouted together. Then they told the Ant Queen how everything had happened and invited her to take her first ride on the big wheel. They did not have to ask twice, as she happily took her place and went round and round again.